welcome back to another video. This is a Bradford TV Harrogate Town match reaction. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments down below. Our first win ever against Harrogate Town in 5 attempts. 2-1 win. Let me know, it's a big win for us, but is it a good win for us? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That lifts us up to 6th, with teams obviously still playing at the minute, with us kicking off at 1 o'clock this game. We've now got 6 wins, 3 draws and 2 defeats, with 18 goals scored and 10 conceded, up with 21 points, and we are 2 points off third, because Salford are currently winning 1-0 against Grimsby. And that leaves Harrogate Town 19th after 11 games with 8 points, so not looking good for them, but we're on the up, and we are the second most informed team in the league in the last 5 games. Obviously Leyton Orient are the informed team, winning, not losing a single game all season. I wonder how long that can last. But was it a good performance? No, it wasn't. Again, we've had a few games now, whilst we've been on this good run, where we've had a few performances that haven't been up to scratch. You know, we're just clinging on to a win or a draw here and there, and you know, I think we probably could be performing better, but you know, you can't argue about the results. We're getting them. We're climbing up the league table, and football's a results-based business, and that's what we're getting at the minute. Andy Cook scored again, but we had 7 shots with 3 on target compared to their 12 shots with 6 on target. We just had a bit more possession with 53%, and we played 59 more passes with 460 passes made in that game. So I don't really know what to make of the game, because we didn't play well. But another win, we keep climbing up the league table. I think we're a bit flat, definitely in midfield. And I just don't think we just didn't play well. On the ball, we probably should have we didn't control the game, and I think we should have passed the ball out a bit better and tried to pass the ball out a bit more than we did. We're a bit sloppy on the ball as well, giving the ball away in stupid areas, and we didn't look to chase the ball down a lot. And a few players who weren't at their best performances today. But yeah, let me know what you think on the performance in the comments down below. But in the last match, I did say that Mark Hughes, you know, have we gone a bit more defensive under him in the last match against Wimbledon? And again today, I think I'm asking that question, because we don't seem to be how we were in the opening games of the season and how we were last season under Mark Hughes. Obviously we played against Doncaster in the first game. We had a lot of the ball, maybe a bit too much, and then we kept playing like that. And then ever since that Hull win, I'd say, or maybe a few games after that, we haven't been at that level of passing the ball, looking after the ball well, and creating some really good chances. We haven't really been doing that. We've been sitting back, letting teams put pressure on ourselves, and really, you know, just trying to counter-attack the opposition, which, you know, ain't really the way I want us to play. But if it's getting results, you can't argue against it. But yeah, just let me know what you think in the comments down below. My man of match is Harry Lewis. We'll get into the player ratings now. He gets an 8 out of 10 because the saves he made in that game. I didn't actually see Harrogate's goal, so you know, let me know what your opinions on the goal were, because I hadn't seen it. But judging Harry Lewis off everything else apart from the goal, I missed it. He was brilliant today, making loads of good saves and keeping us in the game, which he has been doing all season. Fantastic goalkeeper, and I'm not going to say it. What I've been saying, right, he's a championship standard goalkeeper, but I'll stop saying it now. Matty Platt, he gets a 7. Again, I haven't seen the goal, but judging everyone's performance apart from the goal we conceded, he had a good game. You know, he seems to bring the ball out well. I think we did struggle to do that today, which is a bit of a shame, because our centre backs are good distributors of the ball, and our goalkeeper is, and I just feel like we do need to be doing that more. But that's obviously coming from Mark Hughes. That's obviously what he don't want us to do, and he obviously sees that when we have more possession of the ball, we don't seem to be creating enough chances, and we seem to be vulnerable on the counter attack. So obviously he's said that we don't want to be doing that. But yeah, he's really solid, Platt, and I think he has been our standout centre back. You know, Critchlow, who gets a 6, I don't think he is that good. I think the last few games he's been quite poor. Not how he started the season anyway, and I don't think Odesina deserved to be dropped to the bench unless some were saying that he was injured. But if he was injured, why was he on the bench when you left out Kane Howard, which was the big talking point before a ball was kicked today, that Howard wasn't even on the bench, never mind starting. So, you know, if Odesina was injured, then why is he playing over someone like Howard who could make a bit of more of an impact? But you know, I think Odesina were a bit unlucky to not be starting today. But if he was injured, I can see why he obviously wasn't playing. And Folds, he gets a 7. I think he's really good on the ball, better than Wideout. And defensively, I think, you know, you could go either or, but I do think that Folds is physically a bit more better. But that's something we didn't do today. We didn't try to beat them physically, or really try beat them for pace either, which the two attributes and the two strengths. And we didn't really try to do that today, which I do feel like we could have got them at a bit if we did turn away, yeah, from one-on-ones a bit too much, and you know we need to be using our strength and pace a bit more in one-on-one situations. But yeah, I think he's a good player for us. And Brad Allardyce came back from suspension today. Should he have started over Hendry? Probably. I think he's had a good start to the season. I'm going to give him a 6. I didn't really see him do much. I think he could have got forward a bit more. Defensively, you know, he was alright. But yeah, Harrogate didn't cause us too many questions today, and I just feel like against a team like Harrogate, you've got to be picking up the 3 points, and we did. But the performance has to be better, because when we come up against a Salford or a Leyton Orient, or you know, we have come up against them, Stevenage, you know. But when we do come up against a team who is going to try matches and try, you know, have a lot of the ball against us, and aren't going to sit back, like a Salford have been and a Leyton Orient, we're going to really struggle because we haven't been playing like that. So I think the performance levels have to be raised, and we have to try and play out from the back a bit more and create more chances. But you know, we are getting those results. Into the midfield, Gilead and Smallwood. Smallwood gets a 7 and Gilead gets a 6. I think Gilead's been consistent this season, but this game I don't think he was particularly good. I think he could have got forward a bit more. I think he could have tried to get on the ball a bit more and created more attacks. I think when Songo came on, he looked to get on the ball and caused their defence a bit more problems than even Gilead, who's a more defensive midfielder. And I thought Songo were better than him, even with them 10 minutes or so that he got when he came off the bench. But yeah, I just think it wasn't his best performance today, and I think he could have done a bit more. And Smallwood, you know, he's our captain, and he had a bit of a captain's performance, controlled the game on the ball, and then off the ball putting in a few good tackles. I think he does go for an Hollywood pass a bit too much, which does annoy me. Maybe that's an instruction from Mark Hughes to Smallwood, but I do feel like if we try to control the ball and protect the ball a bit more, I think you know, we don't have to go long all the time. Try play it short and try create a few more options in the centre than just hitting a diagonal or, you know, just hoofing it up towards Cook all the time. I think that, you know, going for that Hollywood pass isn't always the option, and I think he does need to pass it more short, if that makes sense. I think we do miss Jamie Walker, and Dion Pereira aren't been the player he was last season, and I do feel like he probably shouldn't be playing the next game. I think he had a poor game today. He had a poor game on his debut, and these last few games he hasn't been playing to the level that we all know he can. Obviously I'm glad he's back, but I think he needs a bit of time away from the pitch, just to realise that, you know, you need to get your performances better, because he ain't getting on the ball a lot, and when he gets on the ball he's sloppy on it. It feels like he ain't got all to prove, and he's going to be easily in the team every game. Whereas last season, when he came in, we didn't really expect anything from him, and they felt we were a bit you know, we were slating him a bit because of his injuries in January, and he didn't play until March. He was here on loan for 2 months. We were saying just send him back. He's a waste of time because he ain't playing. He's just always injured, and he had something to prove immediately. And Mark Hughes got the best out of him. And since then, he's come back and he's been sort of the star man, the person who we've looked at, and he's going to be the man who creates everything. And maybe there's too much pressure on him. I just feel like, you know, take him out the team for a few games and see if he reacts to, you know, the pressure being under him. But yeah, I think he's a good player, but these recent games he hasn't been up to the standard that we all know he can be. Chapman, 6, I don't think he did too well, won the penalty. And he seems to be a player who, if you give him the ball and let him run at players and just let him play with no shackles on him and just let him be free, he's a good player when he just runs at players. But he doesn't do it enough, and I just feel like, you know, if we keep playing him on the wing and keep telling him no pressure, just keep running at players, he's a good player. But he does seem to not have the confidence to do it enough. But he won the penalty just by running at someone. Took the ball past him and then he committed a stupid foul and put us 1-0 up for Andy Cook, who scored again, who gets a 6. Even though he scored the penalty, took it well. I don't feel like he had a complete performance. I don't think he, you know, necessarily dealt with Roy McArdle as well as he could have. I don't think he got on the ball and created like he has done, like the last few games when he hasn't scored or when he has scored. And he hasn't been in the game, he's been creating and tussling with defenders. He didn't seem to be putting that much effort into getting into tussles with players this game, and I don't think his overall performance was as good as it has been. And I think that's something that has improved with Andy Cook. Not only has he become a goal scoring striker, which wasn't really the case last season, he's also become better with his overall performance, getting on the ball, creating problems and causing panic in defenders. He didn't really do that today. But I think we've got Leicester on Tuesday, or Tuesday after. But I do think we've got Leicester on Tuesday and then Stockport Saturday. I'd definitely play Oliver in that game, give Cook a rest. And then if Oliver does well, maybe start him against Stockport as well, because we've got a big squad and we need to utilise it. I think the 4 players who came off the bench today, Angol, Oliver and Sutton and Songo, all them can come off the pitch quite happy because they've put a claim in to start, because Oliver came on, started causing a bit of problem, linked up well with Angol. Angol came on again and made a bit of an impact. Sutton maybe not so much, but Songo did as well, and I think Songo were better than Gillian, and when he's come on in that position this season he's looked fairly good. So then they have a case to stay in the team for next Saturday. On to who have I left out? Terry Cright, 7 for him. Not too many 7s this week, but I do feel like he was one who could have got man of match over Harry Lewis. I think, you know, he used his pace well, got a brilliant cheeky goal with that chip, and his overall performance, taking players on, quite fearless. It was quite a standout performance today, and he has been since he's come on from loan. That deadline signing of Dion Pereira was the star signing, and it got underlooked a bit by Terry Cright. He came in and we're like, well, don't look like we're getting Dion, you know, why is it Tariq instead of Dion? On deadline day, and then an hour later we get Dion, big news. But actually, the player who's created more problems for defenders and been the star ahead of Dion has been Tariq White. He's been the player who he's been a bit like Dion last season for us, the player who's had something to prove, and the pressure's off him because we're not expecting a lot from him, and he's been quite the star player, and scoring again today. He gets a 7 from me, and then the bench players, Songo gets a 7, made an impact, did well. Oliver same, and Angol gets a 7 as well, but Sutton gets a 6. So let me know your match ratings in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on the game, and big win, but was it a good performance? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have a good one.